My mom burst into my room holding a pair of floral granny panties and screamed, "Why do you have Mrs. Duca's underwear hidden under your bed?" I jumped up from my desk chair so fast that I knocked my keyboard onto the floor because I genuinely had no idea what she was talking about. Mom stood in my doorway dangling the underwear between two fingers like it was contaminated. "What are you even talking about?" I asked while backing away from her. She told me that Mrs. Duca from next door had been missing laundry off her clothesline for weeks and finally came over to ask if we had seen anything suspicious. Mom decided to search the house just to rule us out and found 3 pairs of our 70-year-old neighbor's underwear stuffed inside my pillowcase. I didn't put those there. Why would I want some old lady's underwear? Dad appeared behind Mom and wouldn't even look at me when he said they were calling a family therapist first thing in the morning. The therapist appointment was humiliating in ways I couldn't have imagined because Dr. Howard kept asking me questions that made me want to crawl out of my own skin. "Can you tell me about your urges? Do you understand the difference between appropriate and inappropriate fixations?" he asked while my parents sat in the corner looking like their whole world had collapsed. "I don't have urges. I've never touched Mrs. Duca's clothesline, and I don't even know where she hangs her laundry." He just nodded slowly and wrote something in his notebook like I had just confirmed his worst suspicions. When we got home, Mom announced that she was doing a full search of my room because she needed to know the full extent of the situation. She found 2 more pairs wedged behind my dresser and then pulled a nightgown out of my backpack with shaking hands. "This is the bag you carry every single day. You've been bringing this woman's clothes to school with you." "Mom, I swear on my life I have never seen that before." My younger brother Connor had been watching from the hallway with wide eyes, and he flinched when I looked at him. "Connor, do you believe this? Someone is setting me up." He just shrugged and mumbled, "I don't know, man. It's really weird. I hope you get the help you need." The next day, Mrs. Duca came over and sat in our living room while Mom apologized over and over. "I am so sorry. We had no idea this was happening, and I promise you he will be getting professional help." Mrs. Duca looked at me and shook her head slowly. "I always thought you seemed like such a nice boy. I just don't understand what would make someone do something like this." Dad put his hand on her shoulder and said, "We're considering a behavioral treatment facility because clearly something has gone very wrong." My best friend stopped responding to my texts after his mom heard about the situation and decided I was no longer allowed at their house. 3 days later, I told my parents I was going to the library to clear my head because I couldn't stand being in the house anymore. I walked out the front door and made a big show of driving away, but I parked around the corner and snuck back through the side gate into our backyard. I crouched behind the shed where I had a clear view of Mrs. Duca's clothesline and my bedroom window, and I waited. About 20 minutes later, I watched Connor walk casually across our yard and into Mrs. Duca's property like he had done it 100 times before. He grabbed a bra off the clothesline and stuffed it under his shirt and then jogged back toward our house. I sprinted through the back door and up the stairs and caught him standing in the middle of my room with a bra in his hands, trying to figure out where to hide it. He froze when he saw me and his face went white as a sheet. "Mom, Dad, get up here right now." My parents came running and found Connor standing there holding Mrs. Duca's bra with tears already streaming down his face. "Why would you do this to me?" I asked him while my mom just stared at the scene in complete shock. Connor's face crumpled and he started sobbing so hard he could barely get the words out. "You used my V-Bucks to buy the ugliest skin in the entire game, and I'm stuck with it forever. You didn't even say sorry. You just laughed and called it a stupid game." Dad stood completely still for a long moment before he turned to Connor and said, "So, you made our entire family think your brother was a predator because of a Fortnite skin." Connor just kept sobbing about how the skin was so ugly that his friends made fun of him every time he played and how I had ruined his reputation.